And welcome everyone to the end of 2016, to the end of the third season of the most must-see show to ever hit the Bedford TV airwaves, or any airwaves for that matter, north, south, east, west, frontwards, backwards, sideways, any which way you look at it, the Wrestling Connection. I'm your host, as always, your connection to the wrestling world, the fedorable felon himself, Mr. Ken Hill. Alongside me in the studio today, along with family, the lovely Miss Julie Antresian. Wave hi, everybody, and family. Julie, would you like to introduce us to your kinfolk today?
Oh, sure. I have my kinfolk with me today.
Your kinfolk, okay.
And I also have my nephew Michael on set with you.
Right. I mean, everyone. This is a longtime WWE fan and nephew of Miss Julie, Michael. Michael, I already kind of introduced you. Why don't you introduce yourself for the WK crew at home?
I'm Michael Manugan. I'm from Sarasota, Florida. I'm a super long time WWE fan, and every Monday and Tuesday on my couch.
As we all are. Mike, it's great to have you on the last episode of 2016. Now, yes. This one's a very special one. Basically, it's just our year-end review. Keep it very simple. Basically, just like the best, the worst, like the highs and lows of 2016. Like what were our favorite moments, what were our not so favorite moments, who we felt like was tops in WWE for 2016, who we feel like could be tops WWE in 2017. Yeah. So I mean, I'll start off pretty simple. Just like, what was your favorite moment? Not just WWE, but NXT, the Cruiserweight Classic. Like, what was your favorite moment?
I think my favorite moment of 2016 was bringing all of the NXT superstars up into Raw for their debuts, and it was really cool. Kind
of like a promotion to the big leagues. Yeah. When you think about it. I mean, Enzo and Cass.
Yeah.
Sami Zayn finally making his long overdue full-on debut with WWE. I mean, Kevin Owens reaching the upper echelon with becoming WWE Universal Champion. Just like, I mean, a lot of NXT stars carving their niche.
Yeah.
On the WWE roster. I agree with you. I mean, just a lot of, and even the NXT upstarts that you still got down there, like you got Asuka, Bobby Roode now, Andre Cien Almas, Samoa Joe, Shinsuke Nakamura, who people are already believing he's going to be fast-tracked to WWE sooner than later. And I mean, and you want to talk about an upstart, you want to talk about an NXT graduate that really kind of, more or less, I feel like kind of got the shaft, was Finn Balor. The guy, like in the first couple weeks on Raw following the WWE draft, I mean, beat Roman Reigns in his first Raw main event.
Yeah.
Beat Seth Rollins for the Universal Championship. And did that with a dislocated shoulder,
yes.
Of all things. I mean, we saw the moment where he was powerbombed, where he dislocated his shoulder, where he popped it back in and finished the match. We found he had to get surgery, and he was going to have to relinquish the championship. And that just changed the whole landscape. We saw Owens being crowned Universal Champion in his place. And now, I mean, that begs the question, where is Finn Balor going to factor in come 2017? Because his timetable, he's saying his timetable is going to be around WrestleMania. But knowing a lot of WWE superstars, much like John Cena, could it be sooner? Yes. Could we see a Rumble return for Mr. Balor?
I don't know, because he was out for a lot longer than most people thought, coming from just a shoulder injury. I don't know if he's going to make it by WrestleMania.
Again, you never say never. I mean, we say every time Cena's out with injury, he's going to be out for 8 months. He's going to be out for 12 months. And then he rehabs, and he comes back in half the time. A lot of these superstars have, like, superhuman recovery abilities. Or maybe I'm just thinking about Super Cena in that circumstance. All right. So going, like, from your favorite moments, like, what was a moment that not necessarily like disgusted you, but just like a moment that you just couldn't believe happened in WWE, or I mean, again, like in WWE and NXT, just like overall in WWE's like realm of pro wrestling, like what really struck you was just like off-putting.
I thought when they brought Heath Slater back onto the roster after already not drafting him and giving him a second chance, I thought that was crazy to me.
I mean, I agree with you. I didn't really think the storyline was going to go anywhere. I thought it was just going to be like kind of like a one-shot deal, like it was going to be like a brick joke of sorts. And then they went the whole 9 yards. They had him go through the tag team tournament. They had him pair up with a former rival of his and Rhino. They had him go to distance and actually win the tag team titles.
Yeah.
And the crowd was amazingly receptive to him. I couldn't believe it. I was on the Slater bandwagon. And now I'm still in the Slater bandwagon, even though they've lost the tag team titles.
Yep.
Heck, I'm one of the few that's actually hoping he makes like the jump to singles division once his thing with Rhino eventually falls out. Not if it hasn't already. I would love to see him like make a run at the Intercontinental Championship. I mean,
I would too.
the war of words between him and Miz would be like.
Amazing.
Would be hilarious, and that's something hopefully we look forward to in 2017. I mean, for me, it's just like one of the things. I mean, I couldn't believe was just how long they kept the feud between Charlotte and Sasha Banks going.
They did keep that for a lot longer.
I mean, with all due respect to the two, they had one heck of a ride. I mean, going all the way back to SummerSlam. I mean, they took up the entire latter half of 2016, and that's not to say that they had bad matches. None of the matches were bad, not at all. I mean, the Hell in a Cell match, the 30-minute Iron Woman match from Roadblock. I mean, the Falls Count Anywhere. But the problem was there were so many times where the feud really should have just ended right there. Hell in a Cell in Boston that seemed like earmarked for Sasha to come out and win since they made it the main event, only for Charlotte to win. And it seemed like that maybe, Charlotte, North Carolina was the best place for Charlotte to go over. Yet they have Sasha winning in a bit of a karmic payback of sorts. And then you would think that Roadblock would have been the absolute end of it. I mean, come on, you have an Iron Man, or in this case, Iron Woman match. That would have to be it. And you would think that they built up Charlotte's pay-per-view singles record so much, like how she was undefeated the entire calendar year. You think, oh, this is finally where she like goes down, where she finally loses on pay-per-view. And instead, Vince has it organized so that Charlotte would get the last pinfall at the very last second, and then take it in the sudden death overtime.
Yeah.
So I mean, not so. Already, they're already got Charlotte on her way to resembling her father with his about she's already got a quarter of the title reigns he has
her father has.
in 1 year.
Yeah.
And I mean, you have to look at Sasha, and 3 championship reigns, a combined a little under 80 days.
Yeah.
I mean, what does that say? I mean, Sasha's a great wrestler.
There's just a lot of back and forth between them.
I mean, it was the old hot potato.
Yeah.
And I mean, okay, on the same token, yes, you're getting the women's championship, so notoriety. That's good. The same token, you're devaluing it by having it jump back and forth so much. No one looks good when they can only hold the title for a scant couple of weeks.
Yeah.
So I mean, frankly, I'm glad that the feud's over.
Yes.
I'm very thankful for that. Sasha can move on to a feud with Nia Jax. Charlotte can move on with Bayley. Maybe somewhere far down the line they can revisit this, but for now I'm very glad it's over. So now talking about the women and the men, switching gears a little bit. Who do you feel like was the MVP of not just Raw, just of WWE? Who did you feel like was MVP for 2016?
I really thought The Miz was the MVP.
I would have agreed with you. Like, I mean, it was a close tie for me between Miz and AJ Styles.
Yeah.
AJ has just not had a bad match since coming into WWE. No. I mean, with Jericho, with Reigns, with Ambrose,
and even with Gallows and Anderson, he was still great.
He was, and I mean, as far as singles division go, yeah, I mean, between him and Miz, I mean, they've made the major championships on SmackDown important. They've given them a lot of mean. There haven't been serious controversies. Miz has retained it through like nefarious heel means. That's the whole point. He's the cowardly heel that uses every tactic in the book to retain his championship, like he's supposed to, and not just follow on the same tired tactics like Kevin Owens with Chris Jericho nipping at his heels.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what I love about him. AJ, I mean, Cena pointed this out on Talking Smack this past week, that AJ talks a lot of smack. He backs it up every single time. He beat John Cena twice. How many wrestlers can say that in the last decade?
Not a lot.
Not a whole lot. Oh, except for that guy who went off to, that Punk guy who went off to
CM
UFC,
Punk.
and we never
Saw him again.
and probably never will see him again.
Yeah.
All right, so I mean, yeah, I would agree with you. Between those two, it's hard to choose.
Yeah.
I mean, as far as tag teams go, who else can you say?
American Alpha.
American Alpha. I mean, I'd say New Day. They
Just because they beat the record, though.
I mean, they carried the torch though.
Yeah, for a long time.
I mean, they made tag team wrestling entertaining again. They built it up to the point where like whoever was going to take the belts off of them was going to get a huge payoff from doing so, and we got that at Roadblock with Cesaro and Sheamus, who had their own tag team storyline going. We didn't. You had to think there was going to be some payoff right here. I mean, you put these two together when they were at each other's throats, and you had to think there had to be a payoff here.
Yeah.
They're going to have to win the tag team titles. Otherwise, you're just going to split them back up and throw them back at each other in the singles division again.
Yeah.
And they finally got that come up, and they finally got that what they're looking for in the tag team titles, beating the New Day, by basically out New Daying the New Day.
Used a lot of their tricks.
Exactly, turning a lot of their tricks against them, faking them out, using fake tags, blind tags, getting rid of the third man. And I mean, so again, I give credit to the New Day. Yeah, American Alpha, I agree with you too. I mean, they're the SmackDown Tag Team Champions now. They upended the new Wyatt family, which actually I'll get into in just a second. I'm surprised. I was surprised. I mean, everyone figured, they'd be tag team champions. By 40 years out, and they literally did so.
Yeah.
Like right at the very last SmackDown of 2016.
Yeah.
So I mean, all credit goes to them. So in that same token, like, who do you feel like has been like underrated in WWE? Who do you feel like hasn't gotten like a fair shake?
I think the Usos.
Really? Why do you think so?
Coming from being two-time tag team champions and not getting, I don't think they had a single title reign in 2016.
Well, I mean, part of that, is just because like they were busy helping Reigns in the first half of 2016, feuding with Anderson and Gallows. Then you had them transition over to SmackDown, where they have been making some waves with their recent change in attitude. They've become a more brutal, technical team rather than just a happy-go-lucky, high-flying Samoan boys that they were up until the first half of 2016. So I honestly felt like that they would have been the ones to take the belts off of Slater and Rhino.
I thought so too.
I would have thought so too. I predicted as much, like in the pay-per-view following Slater and Rhino win the tag belts, and I was wrong. A lot of people were wrong. So, I can understand where you're coming from. Someone who I feel like has been vastly underrated on the Raw side is Chris Jericho.
For sure.
Jericho has gone above and beyond reinventing himself. He's done it before, but I feel like 2016 has really been kind of like a hallmark year for him. Just not just in terms of like in character, in his level of comedy. He's just like he's well aware of his age. He's putting on much more streamlined matches. He's not going out of his way to try to be the Chris Jericho of 2000, 2001. He's being the Chris Jericho of 2016. He's more aware of his limitations. It was a little bumpy at first with him and Ambrose coming right out of WrestleMania, but as soon as he paired up with Owens, Jericho, I think, really slowed down. I think he really found his step. His niche. I love to use that word. His niche being coupled along with Owens. The scarf, the list, the gift of Jericho. It's been a riot for me.
Yeah, I love it.
I've loved every moment of it. So like, I mean, so we go from like the underrated aspects of WWE. What do you feel like we could do with less of in WWE? Like what's something you feel like has been far overrated in WWE? Like something we could do without.
I actually didn't like the brand split that they had.
Really? Well, I mean,
I didn't like that.
what's your take on that?
I just thought splitting the two, there was no takeaway from it. They were basically just splitting them. They didn't get more money, more fans, more anything. I just thought it was
I mean,
weird.
I see where you're coming from on that because at first, I mean, there wasn't a whole lot of notoriety with either brand. It really seemed like that they were still trying to tout Raw as the flagship show and kind of just shipping Shane off to SmackDown. I mean, my problem with that was, I mean, it was stemming all the way back to WrestleMania where Shane lost.
Yeah.
He lost the whole kit and caboodle of the Undertaker, and yet he still got SmackDown. So in that sense, it felt like Shane was kind of getting like a consolation prize here. Like it was making SmackDown out to be like the lesser brand because, oh, Shane, you lost, so you get SmackDown, whereas Stephanie in lieu of Vince won, so she gets Raw.
Yeah.
So I felt like that was kind of a shot. But since the brand split, I mean, here's my counterpoint to that. SmackDown, in terms of quality, I think has outstripped Raw.
For sure.
Because I mean,
storyline
wise, yes. I mean, 2016 overall, I think has been great wrestling wise. Storyline wise, it leaves, particularly on the Raw side, it leaves something to be desired. On the SmackDown side, however, I mean, the Ellsworth storyline up until a couple weeks ago was going along smoothly.
Yeah.
I thought it was great. Ambrose using Ellsworth to get under AJ's skin. You had the new Wyatt family, which I was with Orton and Bray and Harper.
I was not expecting that.
Which I was expecting it to implode within a few weeks. I didn't think they would actually go the whole 9 yards and put the belts on the Wyatt family, let alone like keep them paired up as long as they did. And now it's interesting, and now we have a new wrinkle to the storyline. Think with probably Orton trying to get in Wyatt's ear that, oh hey, Harper was the one that cost us the tag team championships. You should punish him. So I mean, we're seeing more unfold with that, which is great storytelling. Which is I've said at the top, like when I first started the show 3 years ago, I love good storytelling in wrestling, and that's a perfect example. Same with Heath and Rhino. Same with the Usos' change in character. Same with Ambrose. Same with AJ Styles, and especially the ongoing storyline between the feud between Miz and Daniel Bryan, which harkens all the way back to when Bryan first came in as a quote-unquote rookie of the Miz.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you have so many storylines, so many concrete, solid storylines going on at once on SmackDown, whereas on Raw, it's
just continuous.
It's a convoluted mess.
Yeah.
I mean, so yeah, I mean, Frank, honestly, something I feel like we could do without all the authority figures. I don't really feel like we need authority figures as many as we do. If we just had the general managers, like just Daniel Bryan versus Mick Foley on Raw, that would have been fine. Have Stephanie and Shane stay off screen most of the time, and only have them come on in extreme situations that are too much for the general managers. That would be just fine.
Yeah.
Having them on almost every single week really devalues it. And I mean, but of course it's WWE, so of course apparently you can't have a WWE show without a McMahon on it. Heaven forbid. So I just feel like I'm echoing a lot of fans' thoughts that we could just really do without the higher authority figures, particularly McMahon's in this case. They're better seen, they're better heard, not seen.
True.
In that respect. All right, so we're coming up on the end of the show. Just want to get your thoughts. Like, what's something like you're envisioning? What's something you're hopeful for that WWE will go for in 2017?
I'm hoping for a title reign for Nikki Bella. Coming back with an amazing return. I think she deserves one more title reign.
Right.
I'm hoping for Dolph Ziggler to get another title reign, or to end The Miz.
I do so too. I mean, I actually see him going more for the World Championship rather than the Intercontinental Championship, because I mean they had a fantastic feud too, but I mean Miz kind of like put an end to all of that with the ladder match at TLC. So I don't feel like there's a whole lot more they can do with that. But I can understand where you're coming from. Honestly, for me, what I would love to see in 2017, I mean, obviously Owens and Jericho, the eventual feud, because we all know it's going to happen at some point. We all going to see Seth Rollins face off with Triple H. Honestly, and I keep talking about this, and month after month after month, and we talked about this. I talked about this from the start of 2016. Roman Reigns needs to be heel. We need to see a heel Roman Reigns. He has the attitude. He has the snark. He has the sarcasm. He keeps biting and lashing back out at the fans, both on and off the air. He carries the attitude of like a top heel rather than a top face. And I feel like that 2017 should be the year where Vince just finally just relents, just says, "Okay, let's go. You want to be heel? Let's give it a let's see how you like it." I think it'll open up doors for him. I feel like he'll finally be able to connect with the fans. I think Vince will finally get what he wants. The fans are finally connecting and getting what Roman Reigns is all about.
And I have a question for you.
Shoot.
Do you think somewhere in 2017, down the line, do you feel that Paige will ever come back?
Well, I mean, given how adamant she's been about her relationship with Del Rio, the fact that there were those behind the scenes of WWE who objected to the relationship. I mean, here's the thing. She's a talented wrestler. I don't think anyone can deny that. Is she the best wrestler? Is she the best female wrestler in WWE? I'm not sure I'd go that far.
No.
But would I like to see her back in WWE ring? Yes. Do I think she's going to come back given all that's happened? I'm not so sure. I mean, the fact that they're airing footage of her on Total Divas, the fact that they are talking about her coming back to WWE television at some point in early 2017, I'm hopeful. But do I think she's going to have like a notable role? Remains to be seen. With WWE, you got to take everything with a grain of salt. So all I can say is just, we'll see. All right. So ladies and gentlemen, that's all. That's all for our 2016 end of the year review. I'd like to thank Michael for coming on today. I'd like to thank Julie and all her family for being here today. I just want to give big thanks to Julie and Greg and Nick and everyone at Bedford TV for an awesome, rewarding 2016. It's been a fantastic year, and I'm sure 2017 is going to be even more rocking. So in the meantime, for myself, for Michael, for Julie, for everyone at the Wrestling Connection and Bedford TV, this is Ken Hill reminding you, as always, to be connected, get connected, stay connected. Happy New Year, everybody.
I've heard it
Too many
times to ignore it. It's
some things that I'm supposed to be. Someday you'll find it, the Wrestling Connection, the lovers, the dreamers, and me. La, da, da.